I've said it many times. I don't ever believe these accusations because everyone, these supposed Minecraft YouTubers, right, are always allegedly touching people who are 18 and up. It doesn't line up. Minecraft YouTubers molesting adults? Not a chance. I've been warned this is mostly going to be a girl crying. We might do a little bit of skippity skip. But this lady accuses a Minecraft pro of various things, I believe. So, before we see the response, we have to see what the accusations are. It's so overblown. It's good, though. I was talking to my girlfriend about this. Well, after my girlfriend and I watched a couple episodes of Married at First Sight, because this is all the same as that stuff, really. This is like Me Too Extra Petty Edition. The idea behind Me Too was meant to be like, empower people to come out and talk about abuse. We had that. That's done. Now it's like, empower people to come out and just publicly to a mass audience shit on people for not being a great partner. Which is fucking sick. It's fun. It's real fun. Really bad if it's you. Very bad to happen to you. But fun. I'm familiar with. The purpose of a system is what it does. Yes. And it can be useful as a heuristic, but not true. Okay, I believe there's a bunch of quiet at the start of this. Chucky? White Bride of Chucky. That's a thing, right?
Hi, mods. Hi, mods. Hi.
Acknowledges mods. No, this girl ain't right.
I love you guys.
That's fucking weird. That's weird as hell. To be fair, like, a lot of people do this. I couldn't ever. That makes me feel very uncomfortable. Honestly, it makes me feel very few things make me feel uncomfortable. This behavior between streamers and viewers and mods makes me feel uncomfortable. Especially if they're not paid. I don't know. It feels like... I mean, it's what Dream does. Noted normal individual Dream. Okay. Please get to the rape, or whatever it is. I don't actually know. It all blends together at some point when you look at summaries and skim things in preparation of stream. I don't remember what her particular accusations are.
Hi, chat. Hi.
Mod's freaking out that she's being assaulted because it means she's going to have higher defense when it comes their turn. Okay.
Hi, chat. I wanted to talk to you guys about something today. I apologize. Because it'll...
Watch out. It's going to get really gory. That noise means someone did a donation that activates a really powerful magnet, and it's going to rip out the bridge of her nose.
Probably be a bit hard.
Less than 3.
Yeah, streaming it is very weird. Because it's like it's being treated... The accusations at this point feel like people are doing a TikTok trend. Stream yourself talking about rape. Stream yourself defending yourself against a rape accusation.
I won't have the chat on the screen because I can't read it right now. I also turned off
I don't
all the
believe you
alerts
could ever read.
so I could talk.
She ulted before the team fight even started. Engagement didn't even happen.
I'm sorry. I didn't think I would cry.
think you did. Oh! You have to stream it because if you put yourself crying into a video, that means you chose to include it. If you stream and you cry, oh, I couldn't help it, I was streaming. I get it!
Funny enough, I wrote it down because I didn't think I thought I wouldn't have anything to say. You know, I thought I'd freeze up when I went live, which I kind of have, but I didn't think I'd cry.
Then why the fuck did you go live to do this? Oh, I already have my theory about the strat, but genuinely don't. Just make a like video. Make a video and you can get it like perfect. Something goes wrong, you can delete it, do it again, get it perfect. If someone, by the way, thank you for the sub, everyone for Salvo, but also, if someone really hurt me and I was going to tell everyone what they'd done, I would want it to be fucking perfect. Unless I was in imminent danger. Let's say Lucky Bee went psycho and she had a knife. I might go live and be like, save me, and like say our address or something. But if someone had hurt me and I was gonna drop it online, I would want it to be perfect.
I wrote down.
And if I was mad, I would want to fucking destroy them and have it be like inescapable. Have it be like a fucking albatross around their neck.
What I want to say on stream today, I hope that's okay. Because I get really anxious when talking about important things. And I
don't think I would cry on the video. Or maybe I think too many people would know that I would be crying on video to make it worse for the person I was talking about. No. Wait. I would write a script? Holy shit. I would write an accusation script. And I would have the posh British meme TTS read it out, and the video of me would just be of me crying, not talking. It would just be me crying, with the words appearing in front of me on screen as the posh British TTS reads them out.
I don't want to missay anything, and I want to make sure that I'm saying everything I want to, and in order to do that, I wrote it down last night, because I knew I would be like this, and I knew I wouldn't be able to talk properly.
Right. I would say that would be reason to do a video, unless because you knew you'd be like this, you wanted to stream because you knew you could present this. It's weird. It's really weird.
So,
because you might be like, oh, she's a victim! Ah! Yeah, she's also a streamer. Okay? You pick things up and you get experience, and I don't think you can stream and not be conscious that you're producing media.
oh. I probably won't, I again apologize, I probably won't look up during the stream. I'll be reading on my phone. But I wanted to read this instead of tweet it because I wanted it to come from me. And I want you guys to hear it.
What the fuck? This is just really weird. I want it to come from me. I mean, if you tweeted it, it would. But why not record it? Like, if you wanted it to be, like, your voice. But also, why did you want it to come from you? That's how you talk to someone you know and are super close to. Like, this is sick. Like, this is ill. This is really sick. Like, even if she wasn't doing this deliberately, strategically, this is fucking vile.
From me. It's really hard for me to talk about, I feel like.
Fuck you.
Ardbug has just donated £10.
Thank you.
I can assemble the perfect team to record your heartfelt cry videos. Call me. We are gonna make this happen.
Hell yeah, brother. I was going to start a rape accusation consultancy. If these ladies just came to me first, it would all go so much smoother.
It's important for other people to hear it.
Important for other people to hear it, okay.
I'm sorry, I'm scared.
Shut the fuck up. I'm scared, that's why I picked live stream rather than recording it. I'm so scared and fucked up, that's why I chose to one-shot it live.
I'm gonna start reading. Shit, I look a fucking mess.
Just so you know, that's a fucking compliment bait. Just so you know.
Okay. I want to start this by saying I wouldn't be here without Shelby. I was ready to disappear with this secret forever. I never knew that
I was ready to disappear with this secret forever. That sounds like reference to suicide. Not just swallow it forever, disappear with it forever, okay?
creators were allowed to talk about these kinds of things, and I guess I'm still new to it all. I just didn't feel brave enough, and I still don't. But her strength made me feel like it may be okay. A little while ago,
This is fan fiction written about the South. I'm not into this, man.
my story had almost been leaked without me knowing, so here it is on my terms. Here's my story.
So powerful.
Last year, at the beginning of summer, I was assaulted by a significantly older and popular content creator. I was freshly 18 and had just graduated high school a few weeks prior.
Loading in they're more popular than me, they're older than me. That's like, set up. Freshly 18 is also another way of saying I was legal. But if you were assaulted, none of that stuff matters. None of the other stuff matters. Good to include it for maximum impact, fair. But like, regardless of your age, right? You could be twice their age. You could be 60 and they could be 30 and sexually assault you, and that's still totally horrible. Just saying.
I was drunk in a hotel room with other people around me when it happened. He was someone I had once watched, and he was 8 years older than me and far more powerful.
Stop it. This is... Even though I was drunk, I still had my scouter on. When he reached down my shirt, he was registering over 9,000! If only he wasn't more powerful. If only he wasn't more powerful, him doing whatever to her would have been fine, I'm sure. You're asking good questions. You better, boy. I'm gonna look at what you've said. The weird optics shit kind of naturally feels like a negative point on the video to me, but it probably shouldn't. So yeah. I've said this before, right? It's understandable if someone has hurt you, to want to hurt them back. So someone, in a calculated way, framing things to look as bad as possible, to have as much of an impact as possible, would make sense for someone who is a victim, potentially, right? But it's also what you'd do if you were lying. So you have to choose. Is that a 50-50? Is it more likely one or the other? I don't know. Comes off kind of bad.
I'm so proud of you and your bravery.
I can't fucking... Holy shit. This is... I guess the reason it comes off, so... Especially with... That's like it's not... That's not fucking real life. This accusation comes off like a comedy sketch making fun of accusations. Her accusation sounds like a young adult novel, poorly written. And then to have the TTS be like, I'm so proud of you. This would have been a sketch in $1 Million Extremes World Peace 2. Like, if I was gonna...
The story is quite short.
There is no difference between this and what my sketch making fun of this would be.
It was at a convention.
In fact, I wouldn't have thought of the donation.
In a hotel room. It was my first convention I was invited to, so I stuck by one of my best friends the entire time. I was nervous but excited about it all and felt really grown up. One night we were at a house party when we decided to leave. It was me, my best friend,
Okay.
and her other friend. This other friend was romantically talking to a really big creator at the time. He was also the best friend of my soon-to-be assaulter.
Best friend of GeorgeNotFound. Okay.
She wanted to go back to his hotel room, but didn't want to go alone, so we went with her. I didn't really mind, as I was up for anything.
Okay. So far, we have been told that she is a groupie. That is what this is called.
When we got to the hotel room, it was the creator, the girl was talking to, and his best friend. The two of them and the three of us. Not much happened that first night, just some drinking and talking at a table. The guy's friend had been passing flirts at me the entire night, but because he was the oldest in the room, we assumed he didn't know my age.
Okay.
Later that night, when I left,
So she was 18, so she was legal. If she was drinking, she talked about drinks. Did she specifically say she was? I suppose she'll go into that again. Would make you think she's 21. Not legal to drink, Trey. No. When I say 18, so legal, I mean age of consent. Sorry, legal to sleep with. I'm saying she's 18, so regardless of how old he thought she was, legal to sleep with. If she was drinking, he'd assume 21, probably.
I received Instagram DMs from him, and in my Instagram bio, in bold, was my age, 18, confirming he knew how old I was. A few days passed.
18. That's you sick fuck. She was legal. This is what I'm saying. We've gone from like, this is great, we need to embolden women to tell about abuse. Now this whole shit, a lot of it is you're just emboldened to leak bad relationships or just embarrassing things about people or whatever. I'd say it's distasteful. I find 18 and 20, did she say 28? No, she said 8 years older. Sorry. I find 18 and 26, like at 26 I would not be doing stuff with an 18-year-old. But that's like an instinctive thing. Hey look, an 18-year-old can seem attractive, but then they open their fucking mouth. Okay? Also, I'm aware of how I was at 18 versus 26. But is it immoral? No. Is it illegal? Absolutely not.
When I found myself in the same situation. Us three were at a party when it got boring, and whether the girl wanted to leave and go to his room, or he asked us to, I cannot remember.
She's gonna bring up alcohol.
Once again, I was drunker than the night before and was willing to go anywhere. I was naive, and so we went back. I remember a friend seeing me in the lobby. Okay. You were drunk. Did he give you alcohol? If you're of age to drink, you're not less unable to consent than if you were drunk out of your mind at 18. The part where the age matters is if he gave you alcohol. But she's talking about being drunk already. On the way, they were worried by the way I was acting and asked if I was okay. I was really drunk, and it was an eerie feeling, like they could sense something was wrong, and I wonder what would have happened if I had picked up on it, and if I wasn't drunk, and if I didn't wave it off. But I don't want to dwell on the what-ifs. That night, I went up to his room.
What is this young adult novel as? But I don't want to dwell on the what-ifs.
Back at the hotel room again were the two friends and us three girls. At the time, all of us...
Also, she said he knew I was 18 because he'd looked at your profile or whatever. It might be reasonable to assume he'd know, or it's not unlikely that he'd know. Doesn't guarantee.
Girls were already really drunk from the party we were coming from, stumbling and everything. There was more alcohol in the room, and we were encouraged to drink some more as they offered the bottles to us. They said they would join us in drinking, and insisted on drinking games, and, already drunk, I obviously complied. We sat on the couch and answered questions.
How drunk? What do you mean? Obviously, yeah, being drunk isn't mind control. The thing with being drunk is not being able to, stop stuff. Being drunk doesn't mean you're guaranteed to say yes to stuff. Like, what the fuck do you mean? That's a good point. Let's drill down into, were they drunk too?
At the time, all of us girls were already really drunk from the party we were coming from, stumbling and everything. There was more alcohol in the room, and we were encouraged to drink some more as they offered the bottles to us. The
girls were all drunk.
Said they would join us in drinking, and insisted on drinking games, and already...
They said they would join them. She hasn't specified them being sober or not, just that they said they would join in this drinking. It's not clear yet whether they had already been drinking or not. The men, I mean.
Drunk. I obviously complied. We sat on the...
Obviously complied implies pressure to do so, but she didn't describe it as if they were being pressured.
Couch and answered questions about each other, drinking a bunch, and the older guy sat right next to me while playing. I confused my nerves for excitement, as I had never been around such a big creator before. I remember getting drunker and drunker and really tired around this time. It was about 3 a.m. Right before the incident, I had answered a question about my age. We were playing a drinking game and talking about sex.
Civi, yeah, she's implying sober people did that. So it's clear that she's trying to give that perception, right? But she didn't actually explicitly say they were sober. Or not.
And I admitted to
which allows you to consider, is she deliberately not giving absolutely explicit confirmation either way?
Before the incident, I had answered a question about my age. We were playing a drinking game and talking about sex. And I admitted to everyone in the room that I was 18 and that I was a virgin at the time. I remember back now to him answering questions during the game about back when he was 19.
I'd presume the most important thing about the age is them giving her alcohol. She knows online people are going to be like, he was 26, 28, whatever. She's 18, mega rape. But also, what really matters at all is the alcohol. But then, I don't know. I don't know how it works in the US, to be honest.
And when
I know you can get in a lot of trouble here for supplying alcohol to kids. Okay. I didn't know if it was like tiered, Siffy, like...
He was in college, noticing how my future was his past, and I wondered how he felt sitting so close to me.
My future was his past?
It was a little after that, when I had resorted to playing games on my phone when it happened. Out of nowhere...
Resorted to playing games on her phone. I empathize. Holy fuck, no one should have to play Candy Crush or Diablo fucking Immortal. That guy's a monster. He pushed her to it.
I felt him slip his hand under my clothes, sitting next to me on the couch, in front of everyone. He disguised it with a simple, "Are you ticklish?"
So she has a bunch of witnesses.
I coughed out a no, still staring at my phone. I was overly aware of the fact that we were in front of other people. The the fact that everyone else was sitting around us, watching us, including my best friend.
Okay.
And that his hand was inching further to places I hadn't asked for it to be.
This is fantasy writing. You're writing like a book. Where did he touch you?
He made a game out of my embarrassment where he would touch me in certain areas to make me lose the phone game I was playing. I was scared and I felt
Certain
sick,
areas.
either from the alcohol or from his touch. It didn't matter because my mind was a
Either from the alcohol or his touch, it didn't matter. Stop.
blur. I didn't speak or move. I remember being afraid to even breathe. I stayed there for a while, hoping my stillness could make me disappear. I eventually had to stand up after many minutes for it to stop.
Where did he touch you, though, specifically? Because you could be lying by omission. You could be trying to make it sound as bad as possible without being explicit in case a witness says, oh, he was like touching her armpit. And then you can say, yeah, I never said, which makes it seem sus. You need to be explicit.
I was scared to leave or make a scene out of the embarrassment. Eventually, later in the night, I found myself alone with him and his friend. Everyone else either passed out or sick. I dread the scenarios that could have played out that night, the what ifs. I was just so naive and lucky or
I dread the what ifs. Maybe he'd flick your fucking nipple, oh shit.
not.
Which he shouldn't do, but still.
The night came to an end with just that. The night lasted until 6 a.m. I was still drunk, either from alcohol or tiredness.
Probably the alcohol, if I had to guess.
I went to leave, and the older guy
What is this fucking writing? Jesus Christ!
decided to leave with me. We walked to the elevators, where I didn't get on. He then pretended that the elevator was broken, and that he couldn't leave.
He tickled me, and I was playing Royal Match, and I was out of lives, so I had to spend $5 to get more lives to have another attempt, which means I couldn't afford the taxi home. That's how he trapped me.
Telling me to get in the elevator to prove it was broken, and then after a few minutes, he ended the night with a "guess I'm going now," leaving with a wounded puppy look. He proceeded to Instagram message me for a bit after that, simple flirting or asking about the next convention I was going to, saying stuff about seeing me there. Simple messages ultimately filtered into nothing. At the time of it all, I convinced myself I was lucky.
Right. 18-year-old, 26-year-old. She said 8 years older, or I forget. He was either 28 or 8 years older, so he's 26 or 28. They're drunk. He gets her to drink more. He may have done an Omega crime, providing alcohol to a minor. Not to a minor. Providing alcohol to an 18-year-old. Okay. 2 people drunk on the couch. Touches her somewhere. Maybe a boob. If unwanted, awkward. Well, actually, it's Siffy fair. Was he drunk? We don't. It seems like we don't really know. We don't know. She said he said he'd join. I don't remember if she said he didn't or wouldn't join. Unwanted touching in a sort of party atmosphere where they're playing drinking games. How bad is that? Not very. This doesn't feel like my life is damaged. I've been touched by a chick at like a concert. It had literally zero impact on me. He didn't seem to be heavily pursuing it and wanting to push like far beyond. She talked about him being with her at the elevator and sort of going away with a wounded puppy look or whatever. My power level's too high, yes. She seems to be aware that the degree to which this is bad is not very high, even if it's exactly as she's described it. So she needs to load everything on. He's big YouTuber, so powerful, so much older. Might be a bit of a creep. Hard to judge. In terms of actual damage. Very low. Tell the police he gave you fucking alcohol when you were 18. You got him. You've got a ton of witnesses. You've got a ton of witnesses, you say, of this guy giving you alcohol 18. You want to fuck him up? Go to the police just with that.
I was lucky that that had happened to me. I was excited to be around such big creators, to be at that convention in general.
Right, that's called being a groupie.
I figured that's just how things were. That was the price I had to pay to be there. That anyone would have loved to be in my position, and that I should have appreciated it.
And where we haven't heard exactly where and how he touched her.
It was a first. That night, it was the first time anyone had ever touched me.
We talking boob? We talking vag?
I assured myself that I was just being sensitive about it all, that it wasn't a big deal, but assuring only can go so far.
She's implying he touched her vag, says Akan. She very clearly wants people to infer that, but you can say it that way to, if a witness says that's impossible, deny that you ever meant that. Which is why I think the way it's being said is suspicious.
I felt dirty in a way that I couldn't wash off.
You've learned to say that about this. I don't believe you did.
I couldn't help the way that my body reacted and flinched. Part of me still wanted to feel cool about it all, to convince myself I was lucky so I didn't have to think about it.
Flinched where, when? Do you mean back on the couch or whatever when you were doing the drinking game, or?
I would reimagine the scenario in my head, replaying it again and again, what I could have done, what I could have said instead, but it didn't matter. None of it did, because he never asked, and that fact would never change, no matter how hard I thought about it.
To you, you lost your tickle virginity. For George, it was a Tuesday with another floozy.
I changed after that. I believed life wasn't fair, I was naive, and maybe sometimes to a fault, but I could only wish it lasted longer. I miss not knowing. I used to be kind. I'm angry a lot of the time now.
What the fuck is this? I've got a new name for her Twitch channel. It's called Cluster B Gaming. I think we need H-bomb in here. I guarantee that shit is plagiarized.
I believed life wasn't fair. I was naive, and maybe sometimes to a fault, but I could only wish it lasted longer. I miss not knowing. I used to be kind. I'm angry a lot of the time now at that person, at myself, at the fact that a year later, I can feel my heartbeat stop at the sight of him.
Stop looking at him.
He probably couldn't even make out my face in a crowd.
Yeah.
I can't stop thinking about who I was before it all, who I'll never be again, and how some things you can't undo no matter how hard you try.
You got tickled while playing Candy Crush!
I never said anything out of pure embarrassment. I was embarrassed it happened, and I was afraid to look weak or to show that it hurt me.
I've been provided alcohol while underage in the US. I'll never tell you who gave it to me. Very cool night.
But I realize now that I don't think being hurt makes you weak. I think it's strong.
You're not getting an Oscar. Stop it.
To feel things.
I believe at no point she names the guy. She hasn't named the guy, and I believe it's known that she doesn't. But it is eventually confirmed who it is, and he makes a response. We have a response video from the guy.
Things that have hurt you, and then to still choose to feel nonetheless. I was scared to speak out because I thought it was my fault.
Even
I
if
didn't deserve.
even if everything she said is true, this speech is fucking abominable.
I was scared of him and all of those who surrounded him. I was scared of his power. I was scared I was mistaken or remembering wrong. I hoped I was remembering wrong. I was scared to go to any more conventions on the chance that I'd see him again.
On the chance that I'd get fucking wasted with my friends.
I never thought I'd be strong enough to talk about it, or for what may follow. I'm haunted by him everywhere.
Stop! Have you never had someone like genuinely accidentally like brush your ass or something? Does that destroy you too? I don't know. We're talking about unwanted touching on a couch at a con. Sure, could be something that upsets you a bunch, but it feels like it's just an oops.
Usernames, profile pictures, in my own past. I lost the passion I once had for content. For anything, really. The association never went away. All the years I spent creating this community felt like a waste because of one night. I didn't even want to log on to this app. All over something that I never asked for. I can't help but feel angrier all the time, seeing the love I had once had for creation before it happened. I tried to forget it all and ignore it until it resurfaced as a fresh cut. I remember a moment around
Resurfaced as a fresh cut.
October where I made a comment about a certain group abusing power over minors in their DMs, saying they had minors in their DMs. It was an absent-minded comment, and I apologized for it, of course.
Sorry, this all came up again when I absent-mindedly accused people of being pedophiles. Hang on, what is this? What are you talking about? This seems fucking important.
Resurfaced as a fresh cut. I remember a moment around October where I made a comment about a certain group abusing power over minors in their DMs.
Made a comment about a certain group abusing power over minors in their DMs. Sorry, this came up again when you accused people of being in a pedophile ring. That is what you have just described. Who is this?
Saying they had minors in their DMs. It was an absent-minded comment.
Just absent-mindedly accusing people of being a group of a child grooming ring? Why even include that in this?
And I apologized for it, of course.
Apologize for it. Sorry. In your accusation video, you were going to tell us that you falsely accused a group of people of being child groomers. I feel like that is not the move. Just gonna say it.
It was a possible subconscious jab out of my own personal resentment.
It was a possible subconscious jab out of my own personal... You subconsciously went online and accused people of being pedophiles? I don't believe a fucking word of what she said. I was on board believing this happened, but suggesting that it's not, that she's, like, overdoing how devastating it is. I don't believe anything this person says ever. Thank you. Maybe she never even did this.
My comments filled with people saying that I didn't care about grooming victims and that I thought assault was a joke. And
please, I accidentally said a bunch of people were, like, presumably planning to abduct children if they were grooming them online in a private group or maybe trying to get photos of them. Who knows? Oh, people, the harassment I got for just falsely with no basis accusing a group of people of being pedophiles, actively grooming children.
I remember sitting there reading the comments.
Get fucked. Get fucked. Oh, the comments, they hurt so much. Fucking good. Good. They didn't hurt enough.
Scrolling over and over again, heart beating faster. Over half of the comments had him as their profile picture.
I accused people of being pedophiles, and in response, everyone morphed into being the guy who touched me. Sorry, hang on. I'm scared that I'm going insane. I just want to confirm, we're watching a video. A woman has now told us that she accused a group of people of being pedo groomers, and then as a result of that, everyone morphed into a man who had previously tickled her to make her lose Candy Crush. And that drove her insane. Can I just confirm that that is literally actually what we've just heard? I don't...
I just wanted to die.
Based.
I was embarrassed of myself, and I was angry, and I wondered if I could ever find peace.
Deactivate your Twitter account. Damn, imagine how fucking worried you'd be if someone had accused you of, having a group of people together to DM minors and groom them, and that had picked up and taken off. Imagine how stressed you'd be if that had happened. Wouldn't that be perhaps 1,000,000 times worse than any of this?
The idea of will I ever heal, it's scary. But I was tired of withholding my story to protect myself. I had spent so long convincing myself it was my fault, or that I was just a coward. I just wanted to disappear. But I didn't, because I realized that this is a problem bigger than me. It may sound dramatic, but it's how I felt for over a year. I feel...
Yeah, you can't face it alone. You need a surgeon to perform a lobotomy.
Everything very strongly, and I don't want that to change. It was a big deal to me, and I spent too much time downplaying my own experiences, and I still do. I'm still trying to realize that it's okay. My story is about power and age and consent.
My story is about power and age and consent. Right. Did anyone in her chat say anything about the false pedo accusations she just admitted to?
It pisses me off that they can hide behind their power while victims are left helpless, no matter what scenario. It pisses me off that he thought he had the right to do what he did, that he did it even in my silence.
Did it even in your silence? He asked if you were ticklish and you said no.
Biggest fears about speaking out was you guys. I wanted to keep my community safe from...
My biggest fear in talking out was the safety of my viewers. What does that fucking mean? You better be the smartest person in the world able to completely change my view of things.
I wanted to keep my community safe from what may follow.
Keep the viewers safe from what may follow. Are there going to be... Sorry, does GeorgeNotFound have death squads? They can go through the street? People are claiming she was blackout on Twitter. She said she was at least sober enough to be playing a phone game, and that she only lost at the phone game because he tickled her. Curious. That doesn't sound blackout to me.
And also, most importantly, from the ugly truth of life. I promised with you guys.
I wanted to keep my viewers safe from the ugly truth of life that is someone touching you once when you play a mobile game at a party where people are playing drinking games. It's not an atrocity. Could be wrong move, inappropriate, unpleasant. That's not life destruction shit.
To be open and honest all the time. I know, but I didn't want to break up what we had. I wanted to stay strong for you guys.
This is creepoid shit. This is so fucking creepy. This is horrible. This is like watching a snuff film. What's being done to these viewers? You're so very loved. We are so, so proud Just tons of hearts. We care for you so much.
I didn't want this to define me or my community.
I believe she's Frozen Rabbit. I believe she's referring to some disruption in her connection with her viewers as a breakup, which is sickening.
Community are all we've worked for. I didn't want it to all be overshadowed by one event. But once again, this isn't about me. This isn't about drama.
This
is about
super is. I was 18. It super is.
Everyone who's watching that is like me. This isn't about canceling.
Wait, watching the stream? Watching the stream, okay. So what's interesting is she claims there are multiple witnesses.
This is about real people's lives. I live this every night and every morning. With every touch, I feel I relive that room. It's about connections. One of my best friends, Rue, and I have bonded over similar experiences. And I'm sure there's many others like us. I'm lucky enough to be surrounded by friends who support me. Without them, I wouldn't be half as strong, and I wouldn't be here saying all this. You don't have to believe me or my story, because I know the truth.
You told us that you subconsciously accused a group of people of being child groomers. I'm incapable of believing anything you say.
And so does he. He knows. And I have creators and friends that also know, and some who were there.
Okay. Referring to witnesses.
This is about realizations. I was once a viewer, and now I'm a creator. I spent so long looking up to creators that I didn't know, who I had never met, aspiring to be a part of a behind the scenes that I didn't understand yet.
Groupie mindset.
Sometimes I wish back to when I was unknowingly looking from the outside. I now have a ruined perception, or rather a truthful one. In this community, a lot of us are told to remain silent and to bite our tongues, and those who speak out against it are often isolated.
Okay, name who told you not to say it. Name them.
And that's wrong. It's all wrong. But most importantly, this is about my story and the stories of all the other people who have been silenced, whether it's by their own fear, by power.
People who've been silenced by their own fear. That's not how that works.
By this idea that it's not significant enough, because if it's affected you, it's significant enough. This is also about all the asexual people out there who are surrounded by a world where you're wanted for your body. I grew tired of not being able to speak out about my own story, and if it wasn't for Shelby, I would have never realized my silence was bringing me everything except peace. I experienced firsthand what the power of speaking out can do to a person. I hope this can be of some help to those of you who are like me too.
I bet in her script, when she says me too, when she reads that out, it's hashtag me too in the script.
We aren't defined by what has happened to us. I want to remind you all that it's also okay if you don't speak out.
No, you super are defined by what happened to you. This is all I'm going to know you for. To me, at least.
Because you don't owe anybody anything. It's your story. It's your story to tell, and it's yours to heal from. And it's only yours. Sometimes the most healing treatment in the world is simply...
Right, but you just said your primary concern was your audience. I think you were being more honest than you meant to be.
Realizing that you're not alone in your own experiences. To end, I wanted to share a diary entry I wrote around the time.
This is
Because
fucking psychotic. This is fucking crazy. I get it, there's moisture on a white woman's eyes. So some people will be like, oh no, it's so real. No, this is madness. This is insane.
It was more fresh, and this may help people who it's still fresh for them, or it also just may be clearer to how I was feeling because I wrote it.
It's my favorite drink, freshly squeezed sexual assault.
In my diary, obviously. This isn't really poetic. It's not poetic at all, actually. It's quite ugly. Around half a year ago, I was sexually assaulted by someone 8 years older than me.
I'm sorry, the diary entry from closer to when it occurred was half a year after. What is this? This isn't real. This isn't even a real accusation. This has been so fucking off the walls. I'm not even convinced she's actually accusing him. This seems like a joke making fun of people who make accusations. With the donation at the start, and now with this bit, it's like joke. It's like a parody accusation.
A black and gray striped long sleeve, Nike shorts, a Calvin Klein sports bra. That's what I was wearing. That outfit, it stained on me. They knew that I was freshly 18, and they also knew I was very drunk. I second-guessed myself all the time,
They knew you were of the age of consent.
remembering back. Was he drunk too when he slipped his hand under my shirt in front of everyone in
Yes, was he? Was he?
the room? Was it this drunkenness that whispered to me as an unwelcomed warmth that prickled along my neck? Or was it rather this fake intoxication that allowed it to stay there as I sat silently, unmoving?
This sounds like she's trying to say he was pretend drunk, which sounds to me like he was fucking drunk, and the witnesses would say so. So she needs to say, well, like what? Hang on.
Was it this drunkenness that whispered to me as an unwelcomed warmth?
Wait.
I second-guessed myself all the time, remembering back. Was he drunk too when he slipped his hand under my shirt in front of everyone in the room?
Was he drunk too when he slipped his hand under my shirt? How about no? Sid Chom. She did also say the shirt.
Was it this drunkenness that whispered to me as an unwelcomed warmth that prickled along my neck? Or was it rather this fake intoxication that allowed it to stay there as I sat silently, unmoving? At the beginning, I began to sympathize with him. I technically never said no, I suppose.
This is starting to make it sound like what I suspected. She was being vague so you could assume the worst. While if a witness came out and said what happened, she'd be able to say, oh, I never said it was that worst thing. You assumed it. Technically never said no. Siffy, are you remembering? She did say no to Are You Ticklish?
I never said yes. Time froze. Maybe I thought I could turn invisible if I was still. Maybe. It didn't have to.
If we're talking about a fucking drunk boob touch at a party, this is absolutely fucking ludicrous.
To be real then. I had just met him. I should have been more grateful. Maybe I still had some hope in the world. Maybe I just haven't met the world yet.
So with the clothing, she did trousers, shirt, bra. She didn't say panties, did she?
Lucky to be next to him. So many people would have traded me places. I wonder how many have. I remembered his age.
Why did she go bizarrely British there? So many people, or Irish even, so many people would have traded me places. What is that?
I wonder how many have. I remembered his age. I wondered where I would be at 26.
Remember this!
I blame myself.
You see the I wondered where I would be at 26. Remember this line. You need me to play it again? Remember the where would I be at 26 line. Really important.
World. Maybe I just haven't met the world yet. You're lucky to be next to him. So many people would have traded me places.
So many people would have traded me places.
I remembered his age. I wondered where I would be at 26. I blamed myself for all the things I could have done. I really did. I convinced myself I was lucky. I let half a year pass, wondering why.
Did he touch you over or under the sports bra, by the way?
Why it's now that I still cry myself to sleep imagining it. Why it's now that no matter how many times I wash, I still feel dirty. Why is it that to him I'm a faint memory, but he haunts mine? It's not fair. I was kind.
It's called borderline personality disorder. You're welcome.
In this world, and it was not fair to me. I stay up cursing it. Power. He has so much more than me. Protection. It's unfair. It's unfair he can do that, and it's unsafe for me to talk about it. Why, in order to have a piece of...
We got Gollum over here going, power. I can't sleep. The power.
Mind, do I have to threaten all I've worked for? I've never been one to be bold, so why do I have to feel guilty for staying silent? I feel weak for what happened to me and even weaker for not yelling it out, from hiding from it. I don't want attention. I want to disappear. I wish I never had to be seen again. And as soon as I do speak out of it, I'm seen different. Speak out about it, I'm seen different. I'm seen as a person with a body that can be used and used in bad ways. In reality, I never wanted it.
A body that can be used in bad ways. Like you got tickled? Did he tickle you and like touch the side of your boob drunkenly? Like, what was it? Tell
a victim of a crime that I never chose.
Because you're leaving us with the potential. So it's like, oh, but it's so bad. I don't want to tell people about it. Like, if anyone tries to say that, she's left us with the possibility that he was just like fucking. She was playing Candy Crush and he was just like fucking fingering her whenever she had to make an important match.
What happens when it's all I'm seen as? What do I do then? When half echo on about proof or disbelief, the other half will pity me, looking at me like...
I'm gonna say it. She'll be lucky if this is what she's remembered for, given that she just told us she falsely accused a group of people of being pedos.
Like I'm wounded prey. When do I get my dignity back? When I watched it be ripped from me when I was too young to recognize it.
How long ago were you 18? When I was too young to recognize it. What, like an hour ago?
I don't want to be the brave one, but I will. What are consequences to someone who has no conscience? I'll never find the peace. I can't.
Oh my god. Did you hear that? Oh no.
I don't want to be the brave one, but I will. What are consequences to someone who has no conscience?
What are consequences to someone who has no conscience? Oh, how are consequences real, motherfucker? Just close your eyes. Just like go to sleep.
I'll never find the peace. I can't get it out of my head. Will I learn to live with the pain I faced? How does one accept peace on their own terms? Is one defined by what's been done to them? Is this a forgiving world? Because I hope it's not. I hope for every touch unasked for and every person belonging to that touch rots in this world.
You hope it's an unforgiving world? Then you should be fucking lynched for pedo accusations. You fucking moron.
World unforgiven. I'm very angry and I don't want to be an angry person. I can't help but feel like it changed me and I had no control over it, and I get angry again and I try to be kind and believe in a kind world, but a lot of it feels cruel.
No, you guys think she's edgy now? Just wait.
My kindness never brought me strength. Not now. Not even anger can. I'm always losing. I don't find it fair. How something can eat away at me this long.
My kindness never brought me strength.
Why can I forget everything but that moment, no matter how hard I try? I get mad at myself for making a big deal about it, but it was. I guess I can't change how things affect me. And I wonder why. I wonder why every touch is a bad one. I wonder if the world's so kind, why can't I...
I wonder why every touch is a bad one. That's comedy. That's fucking comedy. Stop. That's really funny. She has to know that's really funny. I don't believe this is... This is like the performance piece. This is like a fucking joke. This isn't real. Just fucking stop it.
Experience. It's kindness. I wonder if I'll experience anything soft like that. I'm embarrassed. I'm tired. That's it. Which, it was a lot of what I already said, but at least in that moment, it was more fresh. I don't know what else to say. I don't know what I'm gonna do after this. I didn't really think it through that much.
Go have a bagel.
I knew it was important.
Go have like a bagel or something, or a pizza.
Again, this isn't about drama or about any of that. It's about a real story. It's about everyone like me.
Drama's real stories normally.
Who was silenced. Who is still silenced.
Oh no. TTS?
I love you guys. I hope you guys stay safe. I hope nothing bad happens to you guys.
What the fuck is this?
I might be gone for a little bit, but I don't want this to stop me.
Stay safe, chat. Stay safe.
Because it's just something that happened to me. That's it. And yeah.
Just gonna watch to the end in case we get any more gold.
I love you guys. I think I'm gonna go.
Just saying I love you over and over again to chat. I kind of do that. Lucky Bee's in chat. That's the video. That's not me.
I really
My Discord
hope
is
this
always
can
silent.
help someone. That's all I care about. I want you guys to know it's okay to hurt.
It's okay to hurt? Like other people?
And I hope, even if you've been hurt in your past, and no matter how many times you hurt, you still find room in your heart to love. And I hope you experience love.
What the...
Because you deserve it.
Is she drunk in this video? Accusation said this was boring. This is fire.
I'm gonna end now.
Actual crazy
I really
person
wanna
on
thank
tape for
my
half an
mods
hour.
for helping me during the stream. I hope you guys stay well too.
Alright. That is the accusation. She didn't name the person. The person, I believe, identified himself, or she identified him elsewhere and he ended up identifying himself. It's GeorgeNotFound. Minecraftoid GeorgeNotFound. He said very quickly afterwards, I will be doing a very serious stream later today. This post is just to make that clear. I am gathering all the information and evidence to share. I have never and would never break someone's, as like, you know, sexual boundaries or sexual assault anyone, is what he said. Caitibugzz, the accuser, said, We are waiting. Pull whatever you can find. I also have screen recorded everything. I planned on using it to support my case if needed, but please share it on my behalf if you'd like. Because we both know what happened. That's why I can sleep at night without scrambling for screenshots to try and twist. Ah yes, evidence warping things. Only dishonest people use evidence. That's why you're scared. Because me and every other creator know the truth, and you do too. That's something you have to live with. Ready for this? This is the good stuff. Yes, I was naive, but I have room to change, to grow up. 8 years exactly. And when I'm your age, I'll be 10 times the person you are, and you will always be the 27-year-old. Still acting like a child. Have you ever accused someone so hard that they stopped aging? I am not scared of you anymore. I've been waiting so long to say this, but you're a fucking coward. Goodbye for now. But not goodbye for now. Because George said hello. How well does he do? I'm not sure. But, we have it. So this will be silent, and then he'll suddenly talk.
Alright, hey guys. I want to start off this stream by saying that...
Again, though. Insane to defend yourself live. Unless this is pre-recorded. I didn't actually check to see if he did this live, or if this is a video he put up.
This stream is completely demonetized. I've turned off ads. I've turned off donations. However, I cannot turn off subs, but just don't sub. But regardless, any sub money that is generated during the stream, I will donate to charity. In this stream, I'm going to be talking about some very serious topics, including assault, abuse, and...
Yeah, don't sub, it'll go to charity. True. Don't sub. All the subs on this stream go to charity. Don't sub, by the way. I feel like if someone accused me of shit I didn't do, I'd go live and be like, just want to be clear, I'm accepting donors and subs. This person's a fucking liar. And I'm happy to make money destroying their lies.
things of sexual nature. So if any of these are triggering topics for you, please be aware of that and be cautious. Recently, a streamer named Caitibugzz went live and told a story involving me about sexual assault. So in this stream, I'm going to be addressing it. I was originally planning on doing this all live, and that's why I originally tweeted saying that I would be live the day that it happened, but I simply did not feel comfortable doing it live.
Yeah, normal human being, to be honest.
And needed to make sure that I had all the details in place, and just wanted to make sure it was all perfect as it happened. So today I sat down, talked straight into this camera, laid out all my thoughts, and then essentially just edited out the blank spaces where I was sitting here thinking about what to say. And then
Script this stuff. Don't sit there and just talk and then edit it afterwards for something like this. That's fine for making a regular video. Don't do it for defending yourself against someone who ulted. Defending yourself against a woman who cried online, you gotta have your ducks in a row.
then also added some screenshots for context. And I'm going to be playing that video now. I'm going to be telling the whole story, so it might not seem like everything is completely relevant, but I do need to tell the whole story for it to make sense and to fully inform you guys. So please watch the video in its entirety before forming opinions, as this is very important. Finally, before I play the video, do not send hate to Katie.
That's an insane request. That's impossible. Watch video without forming opinions? Can't do it. Impossible. Just mind kill yourself. Just mind kill yourself for half an hour.
That is not the goal of this, and I do not want you guys doing that. So, let's play the video. See you later, guys.
See you later, guys. I'm gonna go touch an 18-year-old's tits.
Okay, so this is my side of the story of the
Why is
two
it so much
times
quieter?
that I ever interacted with Caitibugzz
Hang on.
in real life. So the first time that I met her, it was in Dream's hotel room at VidCon. To give context about Dream's hotel room, essentially it was a bigger room than average. It's not just a bed in a room like a typical hotel room is. Essentially it's there was a living room, there was a table, and the bedroom was kind of separated from it. And for this reason, we used his hotel room essentially as a place where all of our friends could hang out in. VidCon is a 4-day long event, so we actually used it quite frequently throughout these 4 days. And we had creators, friends in and out of this room throughout the whole event. Now, the first night that I actually met Katie, I was with Dream in his hotel room, and Dream was in a group chat with 5 other people. These 5 people included Caitibugzz, her best friend, and 3 other of her friends. Now, these 5 people, they were at an official VidCon after party, and they wanted Dream to go meet up with them and hang out with them. But Dream actually didn't want to hang out with them, and the reason is because at the time he was wearing his Dream mask a lot, and he felt uncomfortable wearing it because it's a whole mask on your face, so he just didn't want to go.
Guys, can you imagine a Minecraft content creator being awkward trying to deal with women? Can you imagine that? They must just be bloodthirsty predators.
To the party particularly. He even suggested that they shouldn't come because he was assuming.
But if Ghosty and Katie come back with me too, maybe, I don't know what my friendos are up to. I'm still at Corn Dogs with some friendos, but leaving shortly. Want to play that game from last night? It might just be us 4 for a bit at least. We'll make it fun. I don't want to take them from the party.
That they were having more fun where they were. They reassured him that that wasn't the case. They were bored and they wanted him to.
The game from the other night would have been the drinking game, right? Which makes it sound like they did want to drink, the guys.
Come. So now these 5 people are trying to come to the hotel, but the problem with that is to get into the hotel, you need to have a VidCon creator badge. And only 2 of the people in the group chat actually had this badge. That was Katie and her best friend. So eventually what happened is Katie and 2 of her other friends came to Dream's hotel room. This was my first time actually meeting them in real life. I didn't even know who they were before meeting them. And then we essentially just were playing drinking games in the hotel room. We were just having fun, talking with each other. Nothing crazy in particular. Now, one thing Katie said retrospectively, looking back at the scenario, is that I was flirting with her throughout the night and that she was uncomfortable with this because of our age difference. At the time, she was 18 and I was 26. She actually assumed I didn't know her age because she had never said it. But then later, I had actually DM'd her on Instagram.
Okay.
And because of this, she says that it is confirmed that I know her age. To give some context to this scenario, and
I was saying it's not guaranteed he would have paid attention to that. But this isn't that important. I mean, it suggests whoever supplied her alcohol was committing a crime. but apart from that,
and to why I didn't know her age, my perspective of things is that I am with people that are over the age of 21 in a scenario where we are doing things that people that are over the age of 21 are doing, like drinking. And also the people that came from an event where they had very heavy security. This was an official VidCon after party.
Okay.
And with previous VidCon after parties, I even had problems getting into these events. There was one time where they didn't let me in because they couldn't confirm the legitimacy of my UK ID. They said they weren't trained
No UK IDs are legitimate. Not a serious country.
to look at foreign IDs. So they didn't even let me in despite me being 26 at the time. And also since Katie's stream, I've gone back and reviewed texts from the time, and there was actually a picture where it was shown that they had this 21 plus wristband.
Okay. I feel like this makes him not looking at the Instagram, or like not paying attention to the Instagram thing. Makes sense. Or him doing anything to check age. I think it's super reasonable given all this. Granted, he's not saying he saw this at the time, but this absolutely proves it would have been expected for her to be over 21. It was a scenario where you need these wristbands and stuff, right? Everyone was drinking. I think it's totally fair to suggest that he assumed she was 21 at the time.
on one of their wrists. So from my perspective, it's a bunch of 21-plus-year-olds hanging out. I have no reason to think otherwise, other than her Instagram bio, but I just didn't see it. But anyway, nothing actually particularly happened at this first night that we were hanging out. Everything was very friendly.
And also, you might not, if you're a dude with a chick, let's say he found her attractive, he might have at the time only been thinking, oh, she's over 18, and not even thought about alcohol and it not stuck in the mind or whatever, blah, 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 blah.
We went our separate ways, and that's the end of the first night. And then the second time that we hung out was the next night after this. So we wake up the next day, we do VidCon stuff. After we're done, that's the final day of VidCon. So VidCon is now technically over, but we have one more night in the hotel before we need to leave the next morning. Mm-hmm. And actually at this point, I actually had a friend that I had only known online meet up with me for the first time. And the whole time I'd known him, he lived in a different country. He was actually living in Japan. And I had told him I was going to VidCon, and he
trying to do this weekend moves on Saturday. I think you're probably good to come, but possibly if we go somewhere, you won't be able to get in, and that would be an L. I have an extra bed in my room, so you can stay if you want. I'm busy until like 5 p.m., but should be good after that. Fuck yeah, I'll be there set.
He actually just happened to be in California at the same date, so the dates aligned, and we made plans to meet up. Now, he arrived early evening, I think it was around 5, 6 p.m. We were just hanging out in my room. Dream messaged me, I'm bored, can you come to my room, let's hang out, essentially. That's what we did. Me and my friend that I just met, physically, I mean, I knew him online, went up to Dream's room, and we were hanging out. And again, the same scenario happens from the night before.
Right.
They are trying to get him to go out to another party that they were at, and same story, Dream didn't want to go, but was open.
Can't believe you didn't come. This is devastating. The ops are there. Are you still there? L, come.
Them coming here. And again, that is what happened. But this time, their friends were actually all able to get in. I don't know how they did it, but Katie, her best friend, and
this is
3 other of her friends ended up coming to the room, which had me, Dream, and my online friend that I just met. So 8 people total in this room at this point. This night was very similar to the one before. We were just hanging out, playing games, drinking, and just having a good time. So something I actually want to point out before I continue with the rest of the story is the way that she phrases some things in her story.
Yeah, she sounds like a fucking schizo, but I imagine he's not going to say this.
Instead of saying that her and the rest of her friends actually wanted to come to the hotel to hang out with us, she said that one friend was invited by Dream, but she didn't want to go alone. So then they decided to go along with her because they were willing to go anywhere.
Absolute groupie behavior. Could you borrow a pass or two? Yes, just got one. Lamau, try and get one for so-and-so on a mission.
I just think it's important to note already that the story is slightly different from...
Keep you updated if they remove the barriers. Clay, I need to piss so bad. Whatever we're doing, we've got to speedrun it. Let's get them in. Yeah,
the reality of it. And I'll be mentioning this a few more times throughout the rest of the story. You can see in these screenshots from the text at the time that they were all trying to come to the hotel, and it wasn't just we're willing to follow her, essentially. They were all in the group chat, and part of the...
I don't use these fucking chats. It's fucking me up the layout.
The discussion to go to the hotel. I also chose to mention my online friend. It doesn't really add to the story, but she never mentioned him.
For completeness sake, fine.
The 8th person that she brought with. So I'm just saying it because that's how it happened, and I want to make sure the story is straight. Another thing that she talks about is how we
that is a lot of witnesses. Yes, that is a lot of witnesses.
Insisted that she drinks more, and that we insisted on playing drinking games when this isn't the case. Again, they had already been drinking at this party before they arrived to the hotel room.
That is what she said, yes.
And they had also been the ones that were asking to play the drinking games.
If you have a receipt, you've sunk her ass. If you have a receipt of this, you have sunk her ass, because a major part of her accusation made it sound like you guys were sober trying to get the girls wasted. She made it sound like you were trying to push this onto you. She said, I believe, I was drunk, so I couldn't help but comply. She said something like, I was drunk, but I couldn't help but comply, when she was talking about them trying to get her to play the game, the drinking game. If he has a receipt showing she wanted it.
So instead of us insisting that we play it, they were actually the ones that were asking us. And you can see that in the screenshots here.
Clay, what was the app you were using for the most likely to game? It's my secret app that you can only access on my phone with me, you know. Wow. STFU, I'll find it. Okay, we're going to the hotel right now to see your phone, you fuck.
I actually texted multiple times, specifically wanting to play this drinking game that we had played the night before. And at this point, I was pretty drunk, and so was basically everyone in this room.
He's claiming he was drunk. Everyone drunk. They wanted to play the game. Which means her story is wrong. Unless he fabricated that screenshot, she lied. Or is unreliable in her narration of what happened.
It was the last night of VidCon. VidCon's a pretty stressful time, and honestly, a lot of people are happy when it's over. Not that they didn't like it, but it's just a stressful event. There's a lot that you have to do, and when it's over, you're just happy and you want to celebrate. So at this point, we then moved to the couch. There was a couch in the room, and I sit next to Katie. She also says, looking.
So the only thing wrong that happened was someone under 21 was provided alcohol. They were all drunk. It's reasonable that he at least wouldn't know she was under 21. Yes, Picantian. She described it as her complying. She really did paint it as if they were being pushed into drinking more. She also made it seem like the other guys weren't drinking, but never really said. He claims they were. So that everyone was drunk. There was a chance of him seeing that she was 18 on Instagram, but that's not a guarantee he'd know it, and he's shown that there's plenty of other reasons for him to believe they were over 21, not the least of which being they had already been drinking. But also he knew they got into events where you're checked, and he'd been denied access, so he figured the security was good. Yeah. It's not looking good for her.
Back on the scenario that she confused her nerves for excitement.
Because even if from this point onwards, it's two drunk people over the age of consent, one of the guy touches her boob, whether to grope, or it could just be that he's wasted and is tickling, which could be inappropriate, and accidentally touches boob.
When I sit next to her. But again, at this moment in time,
which is not on the level of my life is destroyed, please. The power of him is destroying me. It's an awkward party moment.
Everything was friendly. Nothing sexual had happened. I'm just literally sitting next to her on the couch. And during this, she was laughing, smiling. She gave no indication that she was uncomfortable with me sitting this close to her. She also mentions that she was thinking about my age and that I was a lot older than her. Again, she was 18 and I was 26 at the time. And again, to clarify, I actually didn't know how old she was, despite her claiming that I did, just because it was in her bio. And it was clear to anyone there that she was not uncomfortable with me sitting next to her. Then eventually, two of the people that came to the hotel room left. So then it was just down to me, Dream, my online friend, Katie, Katie's best friend, and a sixth mutual friend. Next she says, this is a quote, resorted to playing games on her phone to avoid the...
What a nothing burger. It's not like she was bummed in the gob. Incredible.
The awkward situation. Now, I just don't see how this is the case. She's implying that
I have never heard the word bummed in the gob before. Incredible. Thank you, Chikai.
She is using her phone to essentially escape, such an awkward scenario that she's in. But that's just not how it happened. And this is why. She brought up the phone game as kind of a point. The game was...
What is a gob? Your gob is your mouth, Hiryu.
Honestly, the central point of the interaction at this part of the night. It was a very social thing. She was passing the phone around. We were all playing the game. And
you're all playing the game, okay.
Bantering about it, just having fun with the game. So I don't see how she resorted to it and was using it in that context. She wasn't being awkward at all. There was no sense of uncomfortability from her.
Right. It was being passed around. They were all playing it. That does... Obviously, this is just on his word. But we've already seen that he's absolutely shown that she was telling porkies. So I'm inclined to believe she was passing around, which would destroy her claim that she was using it as an escape from terrible abuse. Some Pan's Labyrinth shit.
She was laughing and playing with everyone. And yeah, I'm not really sure why she phrased it like this. We actually continued to send each other high score updates even weeks after the event. To add further context to this moment, we were all actually sitting on the couch that was in the hotel room playing this game on her phone. And during this, me and Katie were at the far end of the couch and we were cuddling together. We had been cuddling for, I'd say, around an hour at this point, playing the game, talking, and just having fun. And for clarity, I had my hand around her waist above her clothes. So with her statement where she's saying that she's resorting to playing games on her phone,
if you're like sort of snuggling up to someone for an hour and they're happy and you're having fun and stuff, that's more than enough time to be like, they're implicitly absolutely okay with stuff. And then that's like, you try something a bit further and see if they're okay with it.
just don't really understand it. And I think that the picture that she's painting is really dark, when in reality she seemed very happy with the situation, was having a good time. I also want to address a fact that she claimed that would confirm that I know her age. She said,
some guy, you went too far with your trolling. That isn't consent. Technically isn't affirmative consent, you could say. You jumped the shark when you said consent can be retroactively removed.
that she had answered a question about her age during a drinking game, and we were talking about sex, and that she admitted to everyone in the room that she was 18 and a virgin at the time. Now, I just don't remember this happening. I'm not saying this to just pretend like it didn't happen. I'm not saying it didn't happen. I did not hear it happen. We're not just all sitting down and not moving. It's a chaotic environment. I could have been getting a drink. I could have been talking to someone else. I just did not know that that was said. Another quote from her stream I want to address. She says, "There was more alcohol in the room and we were encouraged to drink some more as they offered the bottles to us. They said they would join us in drinking and insisted on drinking games. They had already been drinking before they arrived. They were drunk." And the way this is phrased, it makes us out to look like we're kind of preying on them.
Yes,
and
yes, it does.
Forcing them to drink when they didn't want to.
Yes.
When that's not the case. And as I mentioned earlier, they were even the ones asking to play the drinking games via the texts before they had even arrived. So then, this is when her most important claim happens. I'm just going to read the quote. She says, "Out of nowhere, I felt him slip his hand under my clothes, sitting next to me on the couch in front of everyone. He disguised it with a simple, 'Are you ticklish?' I coughed out a no, and still staring at my phone, I was overly aware of the fact that we were in front of other people. The fact that everyone else was sitting around us, watching us, including my best friend, and that his hand was inching further to places I hadn't asked it to be. Again, as I mentioned before, we had previously been cuddling on this couch for around an hour, but I did place my hand on her waist under her shirt. The way it's phrased makes it sound like it just happened out of nowhere, when in reality we had been cuddling for over an hour at this point. And
I didn't imagine it would be on her waist under her shirt. So that means just touching a bit of skin, presumably where his hand would have been before anyway. Come on.
it was not out of nowhere. It was also around half an hour until I started moving my hand further up, and the way it's phrased just makes it
up.
It seemed like it happened pretty instantly and pretty quickly. There was nothing quick about it. It was very slow, and I was very cautious about it and making sure that she was comfortable throughout the process. Me and Katie were very...
That's so fucking autistic. I was making sure she was comfortable throughout the process.
Very touchy, very cuddly, and very slowly got more intimate. I've always been overly cautious with consent, and this is not just because I'm a creator. I've been like this since before I was a creator, and I think that's just the way I am and just the way it should be. Nothing came out of nowhere. Everything progressed very slowly throughout the night. And also, before I continue, I want to make it clear that the furthest anything ever got was under the shirt touching and cuddling. Now, obviously, people don't typically ask if everything is okay, even such as touching someone's waist under their shirt before they do it. But in this case, I was extremely slow, and she was engaging with me the entire time, laughing, cuddling with me, and even playfully fighting me for the game that we were playing. Again, the quote...
She playfully screamed and clawed at my eyes. Clearly encouraging me to continue.
That she said, he disguised it with a simple, "Are you ticklish?" I coughed out a no. She's implying that it's with malicious intent, and that she coughed out a no would also imply that I should be able to tell that she was uncomfortable with it. She says, later, He made a game out of my embarrassment where he would touch me in certain areas to make me lose the game I was playing. Now, I actually remember this quite vividly. I remember she was playing the game, and there were parts where it would be very easy to lose if you were distracted. And she's right, I did do that. There were points where she was playing the game, and she was at a point where it was easy for her to mess up, and I would, for example, tickle her.
He showed the game.
And
he showed the game.
When I did this, she would laugh, she would turn around and smile at me, or she would play fight with me because I had just made her lose the game. She also says how, quote, I didn't speak or move. I remember being afraid to even breathe. I stayed there for a while, hoping my stillness could make me disappear.
You know, I feel like he's doing well. If I were him, I simply would have uploaded the clip of her admitting to accusing people of having a pedo grooming ring, and then admitting that she lied about it. Just play that clip and then say, this bitch is fucking crazy, and have the whole video be like 40 seconds.
Now, to reiterate, anytime that I did this, it was met with her either smiling, laughing, play fighting with me, and there was no reason for me to believe that she was uncomfortable with it. She was not moving. She was not speaking. Of course, I don't believe that silence is consent. I just want to make sure that it is abundantly clear. She was visibly and physically responding well to everything that we were doing. I also want to comment on how she said that she had to stand up after many minutes for it to stop. She did get up multiple times throughout the night. For example, to go to the bathroom, to get a drink. Also, when her friends left, she got up to say goodbye to them.
If she drank as much as she said she did, she would have to be getting up to piss.
And she would come back to the same scenario. I also just want to point out that her best friend was here during this whole process. Then afterwards did leave. And I think it is important to note that she made the choice to stay behind for many hours more. And as I mentioned before, she did get up, say goodbye to them, and came back. We were even talking about staying up to wait until 11 a.m., which was the checkout time of the hotel. Since it was the final day, we were like, oh, I don't know if we want to go to sleep for a few hours, might as well just stay up. But that's not what ended up happening. And it's at this time that Katie says that, this is a quote, I went to leave and the older guy then decided to leave too. This is phrased in a way that makes me look kind of creepy, to be honest.
Yeah, it makes you sound stalky. Makes it sound like you were shadowing her.
She's basically saying she left, so I decided to leave too, which is not the case. What actually happened is Dream had decided he was too tired and was going to bed. So the night was over and we all left. She then goes on to tell a story about the elevator and how I joked about it being broken to try get her to go in with me. So Katie actually had her own hotel room on the same floor as Dream. So she actually didn't have to take the elevator. She walked me to the elevator when she didn't have to and said goodnight to me, which was nice of her. I did joke with her about coming.
Come on. This is bad for her, man.
In the elevator.
So she went out of her way to be with him, even.
By pretending that it was broken. I went into the elevator, the doors closed, and I would press the doors open button to make it open again. I did this a few times, and she didn't go along with it, which I respectfully took, obviously, and ended up just going down to my room. So yeah, she didn't have to take the elevator, yet she chose to walk with me to the elevator.
Yeah, which might make you think maybe she wants to come with me. And he very nerdily gave her the opportunity to choose to come with him or not. And then she didn't get in, so it was like, okay.
To say goodnight to me.
Yeah.
Which I think is interesting given how she's saying how she was so upset with it. But also I think these comments are her looking back on the night and not her actual feelings at the time.
Do you now? Do you think that's possible?
Essentially the end of the story. This is actually the last time I've seen her in person, was just as those elevator doors closed. We messaged for a bit after, through Instagram DM.
I want to hear him say, like, specifically, did he, because we don't even have it confirmed that he even touched a boob. He's left it possible that he did. He referred to his hand going up, which makes me think probably he did, but he never actually confirmed there was even a boob touch.
And Snapchat, and the way that we talked to each other was always pretty banterous. For example, after the first night that we hung out, but before the second, she'd actually texted me and said, you better not be in Dream's room tonight or I'm going to shoot your leg. Obviously, she's not going to shoot my leg, It's just, we're just messing with each other. And I'd actually responded to her and said, well, guess what? I'm actually here right now. And yeah, after this, we texted for a bit, sometimes daily, sometimes we would take a few days break, even a few weeks at some point. And at some point after VidCon, we were actually both in London at the same time.
You think he insinuated it but didn't want to flat out say it? It could be, but also remember, we just listened to a chick who made it sound like he was fingering her.
And she let me know this through her DMs. Now, I will say she didn't come out.
She goes, she in tears went, "It's the first time I was touched on the waist." Fuck me.
Outright and say, I'm in London. But she did say that she had gone to a place that was known to be a London thing. And I commented on that and said, and asked.
Oh. He's casually dropping her in it. He's casually fucking dropping her in it, dude. You can't say dickhead. That's only for English people to say. I just drank at Spoons last night. I'd say I'm British enough. Oh shit, maybe you are British. WTF. Well, I drank at Simmons Bar last night, and you probably don't even know what that is, so you're less British than me. What are you doing in England? Rue said Simmons Bar was gay, so awkward. And I'm living life the British way, partying, clubbing, etc. Oh, she said someone else said that. Never mind. He's not dropping her in it.
What she was doing in London. And just to clarify, we did not meet up whilst in London, nor make plans to do so. She was always extremely friendly to me. I was friendly to her. And honestly, I was very shocked to hear her say the things that she did say during her stream. When I first opened up her stream, it was after she'd already streamed it, but not long after. So people hadn't yet made the connection that it was relating to me. And
still no pedo
when
mention.
Watching it, I was like, I was actually interested. I was thinking, okay, what's this going to be about? And then when she started saying more and more details, I realized, wait, this is about me. I was very confused, very shocked, and didn't quite know.
13th Ronin, that's what I was talking about, dropping her in it. They're using gay as an insult, but she was saying that someone else said that. So not quite.
What to think, given I had no impression of any wrongdoing throughout this whole relationship that I had with her. None at all. Like, it was, if anything, it was the opposite. I thought we had a pretty good relationship. Despite the fact that we actually hadn't talked in a while, I thought if I had seen her in real life again, right, everything would be fine. And
yeah, I agree with Chikai in the YouTube chat. Spaghetti, not diddler. Spaghetti, not diddler.
We would be friends. It was actually around this point after VidCon.
Oh, also, she possibly it even could have been meant to have literally been a gay bar, and then he interpreted it as a pejorative.
Finished, and we were messaging, that I found out her age. And since then, I never pursued anything going forward, and I essentially stopped messaging her. Her last message to me was August 1st, 2023, and I haven't replied to her since then.
Bro, he labeled it with sarcasm.
After I watched her stream, I was pretty confused. I didn't understand how her account of the story had been so different from what actually happened. A lot of the facts that she said just didn't happen at all, or were phrased in ways that just make me look as bad as possible. Saying things like, I insisted on her playing drinking games, or that she was frozen in place, or that she was scared, she was having fun.
He has enough receipts that disprove her that I think it adds credibility to the other things he's saying.
She was enjoying herself. She was showing this with her body language, with the way that she smiled, the way that she laughed, and just her overall general demeanor. Now, one thing that I think is very important to differentiate here is that I do believe that she regrets being affectionate with me, and that really does make me feel terrible. I never want to make anyone feel uncomfortable or regret their interactions with me or anything along those lines, regardless of if it's sexual or not. And I am truly really sorry if I contributed towards that. But what's important to differentiate is that she was uncomfortable with this after the fact and not during.
Oh, okay. He's not cucking out.
She says, quote, "At the time of it all, I convinced myself I was lucky. I was lucky that it had happened to me. I was excited to be around such big creators, to be at that convention in general." Now, actually, I have had a similar scenario to this where I was in a sexual I had a sexual experience with someone where in the moment I was perfectly happy with it happening.
What are you
But
doing?
then afterwards I regretted it. And I'm not saying
Okay,
this to get any form of
regret.
sympathy. I'm not looking for that. That is not the case at all. I'm simply saying this because I can see the similarities in the situation. Now, I'm not mad at the person that I was in this sexual experience with at all.
He's flexing his maturity over her. Maybe in 8 years she'll understand this maturity too.
I have no negative thoughts on them. I simply did not like how it ended up, and if I could go back and not do it, I wouldn't have. I wanted to do it in the
Yeah, but isn't that how he got all his viewers? Never mind.
moment, but then changed my mind later, which is completely valid. You're completely allowed to feel that way. But what isn't okay, and I think is just completely unfair, is to act as if I am the bad person in the scenario because you changed your mind later.
I just said, because it's her. You could do it. Bro, you can go so hard on her, man.
also want to separate this
Like, you've got her. You've got her. She's done. You killed her. It's over.
from abuse and certain scenarios that other people have dealt with recently or just in general. I think it is completely fine to come to terms with your abuse over time and realize that it was bad for you and a terrible situation to be in, and to then look badly back on that person. That is completely valid, but this is different.
Yes,
Again,
thank
this
you.
all happened within
Thank fuck.
a 4-hour period, 3-4 hour period, and I was not given any sign of discomfort, unhappiness, or anything along those lines. And again, it was the opposite of that. She was happy, she was laughing, she was smiling, and as far as I know, everyone else in the room would have thought the same at the time. So now what I'm thinking is, why would she come out and say it like this? Why is she...
Yeah, Sid. Her feelings are not valid. No. Yeah, because her feelings apparently are based on, if we're being charitable, delusional psychosis. If we're not, she's lying and claiming to have feelings based on events that she doesn't even believe happened.
saying this? Now, I don't think she's purposefully being malicious or trying to hurt me.
You're out of your mind. You're out of your mind. Where does the idea she had a 21 plus wristband came from? Someone in her party had a 21 plus wristband. Not necessarily her, Siffy.
Or ruin my career or anything like that. But what I do think is that she is surrounded by a friend group that completely despises me and my friend group. And this is quite a specific scenario that probably doesn't really happen that much, especially publicly. So it's kind of weird. It's kind of hard to talk about it. But I think after VidCon, she obviously had told some of her friends about what happened. Whether or not that was in a negative connotation, I do not know. I wasn't part of these conversations, of course. But she clearly told them about this scenario. Now, when these people that are around you all completely despise me and my friends, they're obviously going to look on this poorly. To add context to this, she actually mentions in her stream, here, I will just quote it. She says, "I remember a friend seeing me in the lobby on the way, and they were worried by the way I was acting and asked if I was okay. I was really drunk, and it was an eerie feeling like they could sense something was wrong." Now, this person is in Katie's friend group, and they were concerned that a group of 5 people were going up to Dream's room to join 3 additional people, which is an interesting concern to have. I actually have heard from another source that overheard this conversation and thought it was quite strange that she was worried about this. Now, I think it seems very likely that after 8 months of you being around friends that hate me and my...
What the fuck is this? I'll show you this in a minute. Someone just tagged me with something.
friends and
We'll see it after this video.
constantly talking badly about us publicly as well and privately. I don't know what they say privately, but can't
You just see your face
any
cam,
better than
fuck
what they
you.
say publicly. Obviously, that is going to affect the way that you view...
Is he just not going to mention her admitting to insane pedo accusations that she claims she made subconsciously? Because to me, that was the most insane thing in the entire video of hers.
The experience. And it's going to make you look at it differently. You're going to second guess it. You're going to be thinking about it. And
he's so bored of that statement, he's scrolling Twitter. No, I noticed I had a Discord notification, and I opened Discord, and I was jump scared with crazy, okay?
clearly, it changed the way that she thought about it. And I just think it's completely unfair to judge me and my actions based on how you feel about it now, 8 months later, versus how you felt at the time. Because at the time, you were not uncomfortable with it. And I know I'm repeating myself a million times, but I have to. You were smiling, happy, laughing, playing along with it, everything. And that's all I really have to say on the matter. Still keep supporting victims.
Any money generated from this stream will be donated to a sexual abuse charity. Should have sent it to a mental health charity. Jesus Christ. Well, guys, looks like George, the guy whose video we just watched, looks like he's actually guilty. Looks like he's actually guilty because he should have known everything she'd be comfortable with. Or not. Because she has a web page of all her boundaries. That apparently this is what the Zoomers do. They have they have boundary web pages now, I guess. These are things Katie is/is not comfortable with. Last updated September 24th, 2023. Boundaries in bio. This is what I was yelling about. My general PSA, just because Katie isn't a minor, that doesn't mean you should sexualize her. What does that mean? Find her hot? Personal info. Do not search for or speculate about personal information about her if she had purposefully kept it private / has ignored question. Don't search for information about her? None of her fucking business. Copying her. Taking parts of her brand or online personality as inspiration is obviously fine, but creating an entire brand based off of hers, copying her bios completely, copying her style and mannerisms. Well, like hairstyle? Because if we're talking about mannerisms, are we talking about hairstyle? DMCA'd for being a schizo bitch? Caitibugzz DMCA'd me for having schizophrenia. The way she talks. The way she talks. Recreating her pictures. Well, like a picture of you in the same position as her. And identifying factors in hopes to grow as she has. It's just weird. Well, like streaming schedule or something. It makes Katie extremely uncomfortable seeing other people ruin their own originality to become her. Please, please, be your own person. There is already one of Katie, we don't need a bunch of carbon copies. This is narcissism to the point of illness. And especially don't copy her art for starting soons, banners, etc. That is commissioned artwork by paid artists. Don't baby her. Telling her continuously to go to bed because she said she was tired, telling her to go to eat, etc. Swoon/admire. Katie is fine with people simping for her. No shit. As long as they're respectful about it. She doesn't mind followers saying that they love her, if it is clearly non-romantic. Streamer gives you permission to say you love her. I am sickened by this person. Is this for real her? Is this a fan page? Is this actually her? Can I just confirm? Caitibugzz, it's in her Twitter bio. She links it from her Twitter bio. It's hers. Holy fuck. Holy fucking shit. Holy fuck. Did she consider other people's boundaries around not being falsely accused of grooming children? Oh yeah, there is a face in the background. Is that her own face or is that an Indian woman? I can't really tell. Additionally, She does not like it when people choose to admire her by saying things like, I cried because I'm not as pretty as you, or you're cute when you're mad. Please, please never say things like this. Regular admiration posts are okay. You have my permission to admire me. Holy fuck. Befriending her. She gets really uncomfortable when she likes an edit of her or someone's post, and they tell her to be friends with them solely because she liked a post. It makes her feel uncomfy and discourages her from liking fan posts, or especially posts asking her to be mutual/comments from follower accounts asking to be friends. Her sexuality. She does not feel the need to label herself. Don't pressure her to. Jokes. Joking around with her is fine, but remember you are not her friend. She'll just tell you all day that she loves you. You are not her friend, and if you make any joke crossing boundaries, especially sexual ones, about her or her mods, she will not take it lightly. Her. Just an extra. Her. Blocking. She has stated many times that she will block anyone, anything that is uncomfortable with, she is uncomfortable with or finds distasteful. It does not mean she hates you or is a bad person. Do not take it personally. Tagging her. She is okay with being tagged in things such as TikToks, unless it is a TikTok sexualizing her or a tag your third at. Example. Would you fuck your first at? Like, come on, guys.
Ta-da-da. I'm full of opinions, it's my god.
Thank you for the sub I hate.
Tickle, tickle, tickle.
Stop it. Stop, don't touch me there. This is my no-no square. Location / finding her outside. She is uncomfortable with people trying to find her. Why would you even write this? Wait. If you see her in public, Katie is comfortable with you saying hi / anything else, as long as you are not weird about it. Doing things such as following her and taking pictures of her unknowingly is uncomforting. Also, please do not tell people where you saw her if you did. The people who are gonna, try to dox her, I would suggest don't care about her feelings. I don't get, who this is for. Cosplay. Katie says that she thinks it's really cool. Drawings, edits, and animation. Katie is more than okay with it and has stated she enjoys seeing people creativity. It makes her happy. Fan art. Again, she's okay with fan art as long as it's not safe for work. Same with fan fiction. Oh, she wrote some really good fan fiction about herself today. Update / fan accounts. She's okay with these. Update accounts are fine, although she discourages roleplay accounts. True. Same, Scappy. Whenever I stalk someone, I read the boundary TOS to make sure they are fine with it. Indeed. Profile pictures and layouts. Katie is fine with people using her as profile pic and layout as long as they are not getting into arguments or being hateful, as it would look bad on her. Also, do not use videos / images of her to promote things such as self-harm, etc. Why would you even say this? Why the fuck would you write that? Hello, here's a list of things that would really, really fuck with me. I'm gonna post it on the internet. What is wrong with you? Again, she said she doesn't like people taking negative things from her stream and spreading it. She does not want to be associated with negatively, and wants people to be respectful. She does not want people to involve her on unnecessary drama. Katie is not okay with people selling their own fan merch and discourages the comparison. Please do not compare her growth or how much you like her compared to other people. She doesn't want people speaking for her. Oh, people breaking boundaries. If you see someone say / do one of these things, don't bring more attention to it. Everyone commenting and quote retweeting or screenshotting something from another platform and posting it gives it more attention. Okay. Please just respect her and her wishes, and remember, you guys as a community represent her. Please be responsible. These fuckers wanting this is why TOS as it is. They want it. They want their communities, their viewership, to be an extension of them. They want that, and that's why you have the TOS treating you as if that's reality. These fucking people are internet ruiners. Leave. Go away. Don't be here. Leave me the fuck alone. Stop this. Sickness. Diseased individual. Diseased.